Hi, I'm Adrienne Williams. I'm a certified life coach, and today I wanted to talk about, I guess, kind of like my story and my journey and how I came to be a life coach, how I got here. So I've worked about 11 years in the pharmaceutical industry, a very high stress, high pressure job. Um, Let me just start with how I got into the three principles. Um, in 2019, or I'm sorry, 2018, I had like an obsession and preoccupation with my body and food. And I noticed that it was so intense, I felt controlled by food. And I was thinking about eating a lot. I was thinking about what I was going to eat, what I ate for breakfast, what I would eat for lunch, what I would have for dinner because of what I ate for lunch. And I felt just controlled. I didn't feel free. And if you know me, I always want to feel free, and I felt controlled. So I found a life coach that could help me with the food stuff. It was great. It definitely showed me how my self-worth was tied to my body and how I was afraid of being fat and all of that. So I worked through all that food stuff. Then from there, I noticed I had like a little bit of a binge eating issue. It didn't take over my life or anything, but it was still something that from dieting I was still doing. So then from there, I found Brain Over Binge. And that book made me see how my mind was just shooting out by habit. It was shooting out ideas like binge eating. And then over time, since I was listening to it's an urge to binge, I was listening to that urge to binge, it just created a very strong neural pathway in my brain. Um, So that kind of set the stage for me being like, wow, so there's nothing wrong with me. Wow, like it's just a habit. Oh, okay. So wow, let's explore this. So from there, I did Dr. Amy Johnson's Little School of Big Change, and this is where I learned all about the principles. So I conquered my binge eating, but from this I noticed I had like a very like strong draw to eat, like what I thought was just at random times, like maybe I should eat, like eating sounds good now. Like the suggestion to eat was always coming up in my mind, even at like weird times. So through working with a coach within that program, I saw that I actually have anxiety. And when I'm feeling anxious, I used to eat. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So from there, since I got through the food stuff, I stopped dieting. I stopped like being fearful of fat because I was maintaining my weight without trying. Now I do maintain my weight without trying. I don't diet. I don't binge. I don't do anything crazy with food. I eat whatever I want. So it's like the most freeing life ever. So from there, I'm like, wow, I have an anxiety issue. So then what I did was I started noticing my suggestions to eat and how the same suggestions would pop into my head. Like I write them down and put them in my fridge. It was like, maybe I should eat. Maybe I should eat now. Do I leave any bacon in there? Do we have any Oreos? It was like my mind was constantly spitting out things that like sounded good to me, and I would follow them. Now, something huge that I noticed was why that was happening. And it was from my emotional like reaction to whatever was going on in life. So I was like, wow, okay. So let me work on this. Like, let's get rid of the food stuff. It's not even an issue. I stopped even caring when my brain would spit that stuff out because I knew I wasn't hungry and I didn't want to eat. Sometimes I followed it. Sometimes I was like, oh, okay, let's have an Oreo. Like, big deal. Who really cares? So then I got like very serious about following my urge, not an urge, my feelings of anxiety. So I did a program that literally changed my life. It's Nicola Bird, A Little Peace of Mind. And that just opened me up to so much possibility, showed me who I am, which is love, peace, and joy. and how when my mind isn't crazy, I can access that part of me. And without that understanding, I would just be living in a busy mind every single day. A busy mind that was telling me I was hungry. A busy mind that spits out like crazy things. So that was in 2020. Now, I really owe my life to the three principles and everything I've learned because I always wanted to be a mom. I was just scared to be one. So I used to tell myself, like, I really don't want kids. But I knew I did. I just was afraid. So after I learned the principles, I just like saw my mind as like a simple machine. Like, okay, sometimes it throws out scary stuff. Doesn't mean I have to listen to it. I just shut it down. And that's what I do. I shut it down like crazy things like, is my daughter walking weird? I'm just done with it because I follow the feeling. If it comes with a ton of whirling and swirling anxiety, I know it's not true. So when I got pregnant with my son, I was so thankful that I had this understanding under my belt because there's so much going on in pregnancy. Like, there's so many feelings in your body, there's so many like worries. And I just was so thankful that I didn't have to listen to those worries. Because when something's really wrong, you know. When I have to go to the doctor, like when I just say I'm bleeding or there's something seriously going on, I take care of it. Anytime the questions are just whirling and swirling around in my thoughts, I ignore it and I moved on. And when I was pregnant with my son, I was like, if you feel something scary, call your doctor. Not a big deal. Talk about it. Find out what's going on. That's it. You don't need to spiral into every medical problem that you have, where it could go, how my labor is going to be because of XYZ. Like, there was no thinking ahead because I didn't let myself. I literally trusted myself that if something was wrong, really wrong, I would know and I would take the next step. That's all that saved me in pregnancy. Another like great example of how like you know when you know something's wrong, you know something's wrong. When my son was born, he actually had some breathing issues that I actually noticed as soon as he came out. So the doctor came in and he was like, we're going to take your son to the NICU just for some observation. You have to sign a release form. Is that okay? And I was like, oh my God, yes, please take him. Now, if that was just my thought, my brain running away with me, I would have been like thinking it over and talking about it. But when something needs to be done, like seriously, you do it. And I do it. And I just live in a place of peace, knowing that that is always there. Like that I always know truly from a grounded place when something needs to be done, and I do it. So fast forward, I had another baby. I had a girl, actually. That was in 2024. Now, I had already lived in the understanding of the principles. I've been living like that since, I guess, like seriously, truly, probably like 3 years. But I've learned about this since 2018. It just takes time to kind of like, show evidence of it and be able to live, really seriously live in this life. So I had always been so afraid of postpartum depression. I actually had an aunt who had postpartum psychosis. She was a distant aunt, but it was still like close in my family. So when I got pregnant with my second, I was still so afraid of postpartum depression. But my coach, she really helped me see that all those feelings I'm feeling and probably will feel are normal. Like our hormones are fluctuating, our feelings are fluctuating, we're having everything. We're having happiness, sadness, surprise, we're cycling in and out of all of that, and that's just completely normal. So when my daughter was 8 weeks old, I remember feeling like very, very intense emotions. Like I was crying a lot. I was like worried about her future, like thinking ahead a lot. And I just feel so thankful that I knew that that was just plain old normal. We feel things when we have, especially when we have a baby and we're super, super sensitive, but it's okay. Like it's great. it can't hurt me. I felt scared, but still grounded, knowing that it would pass, and it did. And like I said before, like the next day I woke up like feeling completely normal. But then again, like I still cycled in and out of all of these feelings that at times felt out of control, but it passed. And you know what? Like sometimes I got ideas to do things like get a bath or call my sister or talk to my husband or journal. And I did that. And I'm not saying that that saved me, but it definitely helped me see that sometimes you do things to feel better. And I don't have to sit and stew in how you're feeling. Either way, they're going to pass by. I'm untouched, I'm love, I'm joy, I'm peace, and that always comes back to me every single time. I feel so thankful that I have access to this inner knowing and so many years of practice in it. Because when I had my daughter, since living from this place of like just letting the negative just like pass by, I know it sounds so easy. I know sometimes it's hard, it is. Sometimes I get caught up in it. I'm able to just notice when something doesn't feel right. Like for instance, before I had my daughter, I kept like trying on going back to work. And I'm like, this just feels horrible. Like, can we do it? Like, and then I would push it down again. As I got closer to her birth, I just knew. I'm like, you know what? I'm not working. I'm not doing it. I sat down with my husband. We decided what we were going to do financially, and I didn't work. And it was the best decision I ever made. So now I've been home with my daughter. She's 20 months old. I'm a life coach. I have a book that I just released. I help people one-on-one. And because I live from a quiet mind, I was able to really see how I was living not in alignment and what I wanted. I tried on being with my daughter, and it felt freeing. It felt like I was in flow. It felt like I'm doing this. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to take it every day, day by day. And so that's what I'm doing. I just want to share this with everyone. I want you to know that you don't have to suffer. There is another way to live. There's a lot of talk right now about mental health and getting help, and it's going to be okay, and you can live from a peaceful place. You just have to know how, and you have to trust yourself that no matter what life throws at you, you have this inner guidance and this wisdom, and you know what to do. You do. We live in a world where we're inundated with information and best case scenarios and ideals, and life's just not like that. And let it be like that. Let it be imperfect. You can handle whatever's thrown at you. Your kids don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. Your life doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a place that is just so just not fun to live in, to be honest. Do we need all this information? No. Is it making our lives better? No. Because all we do is overthink everything, and it's this decision fatigue, and the days are just so tiring when they should just be filled with so much love and joy. And they can. You can live this way. So that's it. That's my whole spiel. It's how I went from food free to noticing I have this anxiety to now anxiety is normal. Like I have some anxiety sometimes, and that's that. I don't analyze it. I don't decode it. I don't try and figure out the why. I don't try and dig into my past to figure out why I'm this way. It's just a human condition, and I'm normal, and that's it. Move on with my day. Thanks for listening.